Because you was talking about regulating fintechs in Nigeria the other time, and I don't know whether this news came as a shock or what. It was so clear in the offing, like we've seen it coming, and that's the fact that there are reports that PayDay is looking to sell. Yeah, so he's looking for who will acquire them.
Barely, I think 3 months after raising
6 months after raising like $3.
Was it 6 or $3
million?
I think it was 3 months.
Just a few months. All right, let's use
Just
3
a
months.
few
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, after raising
6 months.
6 months.
6
right?
months after raising $3 million.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting stuff.
Mm.
So I think a lot of things came out that, there were a lot of things in that story that, the fact that they are looking to sell just after raising money is pretty big.
Mhm.
Is it?
Oh, wait, okay. It's not. Thinking about it now, it's actually not. But then I think the main crux of the issue is how the startup was being run. And then
According
you
to
can
the
according to the
Tekabara
Tekabara article. So, and if you just to talk about that, you just have to take one specific thing. I think one thing a lot of people have on to, which is the fact that the CEO was
That's Favor Ori.
Favor Ori was paying himself $15,000 every
monthly
month.
salary.
Yeah, and they also slashed salaries after they raised that money. And then, when you slash people's salaries, right, and then they know you are still earning that
Your
much,
full salary.
people will feel,
Why did you slash that? Is it not to save money?
yes, and you are still earning. But then he told Tech about that. Oh, he was earning that much, but then he slashed it at some point. It's not clear when exactly or how long he was earning.
Or how much he slashed the $15,000.
Exactly. Did you slash it by half? Did you slash it by 2%? So
Slash.
that's, I think, a lot of people hung on to that. And then I also saw someone tweeted something about him 4 years ago. There was a startup he founded before where he wasn't paying the developers, and
I remember.
Yes, and I think Chim
was cancelled online that year. I'm trying with Jakpa. That's the startup.
Oh, yes. So I think PayDay itself already has a lot of bad press following it. Even before these reports, a lot of customers could not access funds. People were complaining of and a lot of complaints generally. And this coming out now isn't so much of a surprise. We already know there was something wrong, right? But then we just didn't know how deep or how bad it was. So
it's quite sad. I don't know if I should put it like that, because I've spoken with founders of startups that are VC funded, and I've spoken with founders that are bootstrapped. There's a way they think that is different. It's as if they exist in different worlds, right? Especially when it comes to managing fund, and when it comes to especially managing fund, right? I don't know how the agreement that investors have with founders, or if they do due diligence, or if they follow up with their books. Because these are things that when you give somebody your money to use it to develop a product or make it or scale it, you should be able to ask for their books probably every month to see how they are doing. Because you are investing here, fine. 9 out of 10 startups fail in the first 5 years. Fine, we know that, but you should have done everything you have to do before it fails.
I think the investors do that, right? I'm
Yes,
pretty sure they do that.
Yes, they should, but maybe some don't. Because in a case like this, where you are burning out investors' fund, because what do you want to say?
No, it all just flashed through my mind, and it's very, very interesting.
Share it with us.
I can't share it on camera. I'll share it with you guys after. Anyway, so is it surprising that PayDay is looking to be, could be interested or could be looking for
An acquirer.
It's not. Why do I say that? It's not a bad thing to get acquired first.
Yes. Decision and mergers are where you survive.
It's
and
always
stuff.
great. And when they raised the seed round, there was a story, I think 2 days or so after, that Moneypoint
CEO
was interested in acquiring them. And Moneypoint rebuffed the story, said it wasn't true. PayDay declined to comment, I think. I think that was when there was a sense that, okay, an acquisition
It's in the offing.
it's in the offing. And I remember Benjamin Dara made a tweet and he said, Favor has proven to be great at building products.
Mm-hmm.
It's now left to be seen if you can take products from zero. Yeah, he has shown that you can do 0 to 1, but can you go from 1 to 100? And I think that's the biggest question here, right? You could be brilliant, you could be a great engineer and a great salesman, whatever. You could just be very good at starting things, but companies are not. Companies are almost like everything in life. The fact that you started something is not good enough. It's good that you started something, but can you grow it? Can you keep it alive for as long as is humanly possible? That's now where your mettle as a founder is tested. In his own case, we've seen him launch several products and build them to the point where it's got a lot of users, right? But sustainability has always been an issue. It's either, in fact, it has always been some form of misconduct. It's either you're not paying people appropriately, or you're reneging on your agreements. Like, all of these issues have always come up, and I know that when I think last year or so, there were these conversations about has it turned a new leaf, has anything changed, and all of that. And I don't know why. That's why I said we need fintechs to be regulated, right? The problems they had are not exactly. They are not new problems.
External problems.
They are not.
External influence.
Exactly,
It's
because
totally
internal.
it's not external.
It's not external.
It's not external, and it comes back to something that you may have noticed. Very few startups have failed because of external problems. Most of them, and I'm speaking of in the last 3 to 4 years, most of them have always failed because of
the ones that are not
internal
failed as
issues.
from
So
external
that you're
problems,
going
like
to-
ride hailing.
yeah.
We know that one.
You're either
was
going to
external.
hire a ton of staff that
Paying them
you now
outrageously.
6 months later, that's another thing that people should. And this is a funny conversation because it touches everybody, right? It's not just the founders.
Yeah.
Why are founders paying these ridiculous amount? Tech has taken on that, I call it toga of a very lucrative field, right?
Yeah.
And so people get into tech with certain expectations. If you see some conversations, people are like, you want to pay me, a senior developer, 300K. Something must be wrong somewhere.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
Anyways. That's ridiculous.
I don't know if it's ridiculous because
It's outrageous. For somebody to be like a senior developer, you should have at least 5 years of experience. Why would you be offering that kind of person 300,000? I'm not saying that they should ask for 5 million. I'm just saying that it should actually offer them what is commensurate with their experience. But I'm not trying to invalidate the fact that a seed stage startup should not be offering like outrageously big amount to maybe you want to push that person from a bigger startups. That is what I don't agree with. You're not supposed to be using the money you raise to be paying salary.
okay, maybe anyway, before developers come for me, sure, but I'm not saying they should not pay you guys well, Lou. I'm just saying if you're going to, and maybe it's not the people who are, it's not the employees who set the standard in a way. If I'm the founder, if I'm your investor, I would think that you are you are very, very frugal with your expenses. So maybe if you can do it just one or two senior developers instead of hiring like three, four
for one product.
Yeah, if you can do it just one or two, maybe you can do that and then pay them a little bit below market rate, and then try to compensate in other ways. But a situation where you are a seed stage startup and you are offering 200, 300K for positions that your competitors who are better funded, larger, older, like you're paying at the same level, it doesn't make sense. It's like you just start a new company and you want to be paying as well as every other person. It doesn't make sense.
I think I should just mention it before we move on to the next thing. We're saying off camera how this issue is everybody is involved in it, both the investors, both the talent themselves, the startups, even the media.
I'll take out the talent because the talent tells you what to pay, but ultimately you're the one that says, okay, based on what I have, this is how what I can pay.
Yeah,
of course, if you need them, you will still want to go for at least something close to what they are requesting for.
But you could it's easier for you to walk away than for the talent to walk away. It's easier for you.
That's
to
why I
walk
said
away.
is the it's for the ecosystem too. Is a problem because when people position themselves and because they've been in that field for a long time and they give you this idea that this is how much you should ask for your years of experience, of course the talent will go for it. So this 4 group of people should just find a way to fix themselves around it so that we don't like paint our reputation like the funding scene, because when you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 startups that are closing down or losing their businesses just for not managing their investors fund well, is going to give a bad brand to the Nigerian tech ecosystem. So I hope we can do better, and we are here in the media space to report it. Yeah.